desde la prisión, Wilson Manyoma,
Masters and None, episode 49.
Episode 49.
And 49 is a special number. It's a real special number. Yeah, it's a super special number. Because it's a number right before 50.
Yeah.
Really no other reason.
That's the only reason I could think of.
That's all I got.
Unless you're a 49ers fan.
Ooh, damn, Gold Rush and
San
all that
Francisco?
Shit. Ooh, that's right.
Shout out to all the fools down there.
Yo, shout out everybody that's already in the live, man. Shout out everybody still in the chat, man. Or that's on the chat this early.
Word.
Damn, it's been an eventful
weekend?
Yeah, just an eventful time in general.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, there's a lot of shit going on. It's, you know, fighters punching people in the face. You know.
Talking about Connor.
That guy is crazy, yo.
So I know he punched somebody in the mouth.
Yeah, apparently, because first of all, let's start it with how he's like one of the biggest ballers alive right now. You know where he took his daughter to get baptized?
Rome? He took him to the cathedral?
Took her to the Vatican.
The Vatican, excuse me. What did I say? What's a cathedral?
Cathedral is like a style of church.
Oh, okay.
But trust me.
Took her to the Vatican, excuse me.
Took her to the Vatican.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm like, God damn, I don't know if I've ever heard of anything so baller in my life.
That might be something that they do. You know, Europeans, they're different. You know what I'm saying? They have the Vatican over there. They go see it on vacation.
Bro, they don't just do christenings at the Vatican.
I'm not saying they do a regular degular, but that might be something that the ballers out there, that's what they do. We ain't got no fucking culture over here. We don't have nothing like that to go do, no matter how much money you have in the States. Like,
well, we ain't been around that long.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like, we only been around, literally, bro, we've been around, we're like 2 generations removed from the first people that were here.
What is it, 1776,
I think it was.
Some shit like that?
But that's when they say it was. So think about it. That's like, you know, like what, like
that's
300
like
years?
Great-great-grandfather, or great-great-great-grandfather.
Yeah.
It's a couple dads ago. That's not that long ago.
Legit, bro. It's a couple dads ago, and it's mind blowing to me when you look at like the history and how long those places have been around.
Yeah.
It's
oh
like
my God. Well, that's what it's like when you go there. When you go to some of these places, it's just kind of insane because like everything is older than the States. The streets, like the cobblestone streets, all the buildings you see, like that's why they don't have these fucking skyscrapers. But the geography of these European countries, these older European countries, like it's absolutely gorgeous. You know, there's nothing over here that compares to anything like that.
No, I agree like 100%. It's something that when I think about it consciously, when I'm like, you know what? Let me go out and just reach deep for good old America.
Yeah.
And really get us some history and bring it up. And I'm like, oh, we did these couple cool things. Oh, fuck, slavery.
I'm like,
God damn. I was like, give us like a little bit of,
you gotta start at like the Industrial Revolution, you know? You can't just say all of, America's history. We got some, we've accomplished a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that there's something to be said for a place like the Vatican that is that old and like rustic, you know. To me, it's a little fucked up that they don't laws don't apply over there.
Oh, but that's like you got to talk to Italy about that.
No, I mean like they don't pay taxes over there.
Oh, okay. Wait, you talking about them over there or them over here?
Them over there and them over here, like, because they don't pay taxes here, but over there it's like way different. Like they have their own law. Like cops don't go in the Vatican.
Like they have their own like
their own like way of handling things.
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of prosecuting people, just transferring them like to like another location, like that kind of stuff.
So if you do something disgusting that I'm not going to say because people would say that I say wild things if I said this, but if you do something wild and gross, they'll just move you.
Move you where?
They'll just middle of America. Who knows? Who knows where they'll move you? They'll move you to a camp where guess what? Everything that all the traps you fell into over here, there's more over there. The fucking wildest thing, right? And then people like, oh my, don't even fucking get me
started.
Come on,
now I want you to go. I want you to
It's just interesting that like charters of people that like preach like certain lifestyles don't really like live up to those lifestyles. But that's like when they say like don't meet like your favorite.
Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, don't
When
meet
they
your
say,
heroes.
Like, don't meet your hero makes a lot of sense because
At the end of the day, like just to kind of save myself from all the religious people, like we're all humans, right? So like we're all susceptible to falling for whatever they whether they say it's like the devil doing it or who's doing it. Like we're all susceptible to that stuff, right? So I think that they should look at it that way too, right? Because if you're not a part of their cult, then like you're a bad guy.
Yeah, facts. I mean, something that's kind of that now they're doing
What up, Mark?
they're doing Mark, what's good, bro? They're doing starting, I think it's today. Is today the 15th? Yeah, I think it's today. I think today the US government is starting to push, like, if it's not passed already, that they're just allowed to monitor any transaction in your bank account that's more than $600.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did they come up with that number?
I don't know. It's probably a number that's a common enough transaction, probably between like most people, whether that be upper, middle class, lower class. Like, it's $600 will kind of encompass everyone. Everybody's around $600 that you really give a shit about, in terms of monitoring everyone.
I just think that $600, like as a number, it creates so much data, right? Because you think about how many purchases people make over $600. Like I get it that like a large majority of purchases are under $600, but all the ones that are over, like that's a lot of transactions.
Yeah. It's not only is it a lot of transactions. To me, I think. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
So it's just interesting to me. Initially what comes to my head is, damn, that's a lot of data. Because like I've spent over $600 a couple times this year, right? Yeah. And if I've done it a couple times and times the amount of people they are that have credit cards or debit cards or whatever, that's a lot of data. And like, what are they doing with all this data? Like, what are they looking at it for, right?
They're fucking just looking at it so that they could just monitor pretty much everyone. That's really the goal, is to monitor everyone. They want to see. You don't think that's true?
I don't like to live in those like broad things that are just like they just want to watch us. Like if you could say, well, they want to watch us because of X, Y, and Z, then I could get behind something like that. But like I can't get behind they want to control us or they want to watch us. It's like, okay, well, just give me a reason, as long. And I'm not saying that that's not true. It very well could be true. It sounds more likely to be true than false, right? But I just want to know why. Like, it can't end there, right? Like, there's a lot of people who are satisfied with just saying that. They're saying, well, they want to control us. They want to take our freedom. They want to do this. They want to do that. Okay, but how and why, right? Why are they doing this? And maybe it's true. But to convince me, I need to know, like, why do you feel that way? Not you specifically, but anybody who might have that opinion. It's like they want to do that $600 because, 1 bar of plutonium is $600, $5.99. So they know, you need at least 1 bar of plutonium or whatever the fucking, let's say they're looking at it for people who are maybe buying things to make bombs or some shit like that. I don't fucking know.
See, to me, I really like your
good looking, Mark. I appreciate it.
Your optimism. I really like your optimism.
I'm not being optimistic. I'm saying that what you're saying is very possible. I'm just curious to know what the reason behind that is.
I'm saying optimistic because I mean optimistic in a sense that you're saying that because maybe people are making bombs, whatever the reason is, it has nothing to do with anybody's safety. It has nothing to do with what's good for us. It has nothing to do with any of that. What it has to do with is being able to control the flow of cash, monitor where it's going, because they want to be able to somehow intercept it if need be. Because once they're monitoring your shit, you know what comes next? Oh, hey, because it used to be 10 grand. I used to work in a bank.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I was a bank teller. So back when I was a bank teller, if you were to come in with just like a whole bunch of money, you can just walk in with a bunch of cash. You couldn't walk in with $10,000 worth of cash. It had to be below that. So if
not, you got to fill out special paperwork.
Yes, you have to fill out IRS paperwork. So people that came in with their own businesses and shit like that, they would come in and they would have just like an envelope of cash. Like let's say, like we had a dude that used to come in. He was a car salesman, like a used car salesman. So he used to come in with just bags of cash all the time. But he'd be driving a different car every day with different plates on it. Like he would go out there, I'd see him changing plates outside in like which whatever, he's got a car dealership, what have you. But I just found it a little funny. And just every time he would come in with a deposit, he would come in with a deposit of $9,985.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to go over that 10 grand mark. I'm of the thought that all of those things are already monitored, right? When you tell me this new thing of like now the government's going to monitor every transaction over $600, in my mind, they were monitoring all my transactions already. Like now you're just telling me this thing that's like, oh, okay. That's like the same idea.
That's
with
a
people,
good point. Because
the same idea with people who don't want to use. I've seen people give me shit about using like the face scan on my phone to unlock my phone. You know, now Android and I'm sure iPhones do it too. You just put your face to the phone and it unlocks it.
iPhone's been doing that, Papa.
I assure you that Android is doing it longer. I just mentioned, you see how I mentioned iPhone is like a thing. Maybe iPhone does it. Anyways, doesn't matter.
You know, it's.
I've had people give me shit because I do it. And they're like, you're just giving the man like your face and like all your, and I'm like, what? You think that they just got my face when I put this app on my phone? We give up all of our privacy. As a society, we're all on social media giving up everything that's like precious to us. We put up pictures of our kids. We talk about going on vacation, that people get to watch us go on vacation. Like, you know, people essentially can monitor your everyday life if you're one of those people who go on social media. I happen not to be. The internet isn't saturated with pictures of my kid. I've never posted a picture of my kid. Not because she's one of the Olsen twins, just because I just don't feel it necessary, right? But some people are so compelled to just put everything out on the internet that when things like this happen, I'm just like, whatever. Like, A, they're watching it already, and B, you fucking tell everybody all your shit anyways.
Yeah, every single time you got to take a shit, it's already on Twitter. You've already put that shit on there, like, yo, pinching a loaf, 12 p.m., first lunch break. And I'm like, dude, I don't care, yo. There's a reason why people have little blue checks. People have little blue checks because it allows people to just scroll through and see who they actually give a fuck about real quick. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a blue check on a lot of people's little feeds and shit like that, they're not fucking with you anyway. Let's be honest. And if you watch a live, you ever watch a live from somebody like an Instagram live or whatever of a famous person?
Yeah.
Do you notice that like none of us, if you put something up, there's no regular person comments at the top. You just keep scrolling. It's just blue checks.
Is that because of like an Instagram
and blue checks,
like an Instagram like special effect that you get when you're verified?
No, I think it's more so just. I think it just has more to do with like it's Instagram filters it to like who they think is going to draw an audience, who they think they really give a fuck about.
Can I talk about the fact that you're of the thought that like when you get to, and I believe this, I just think it's an interesting thing. Like Justin swears that like there's a whole nother subsection of social media applications. Like once you get lit, that like you get these additional, like there's like secret features.
Bro, that's a fact.
No, I'm not.
It's a goddamn fact.
I told you he's convinced.
Bro, it's a fucking fact. You're trying to tell me that you...
No. I'm not trying to say anything.
You're trying to tell me a lot of things right now.
No. So like when you get verified, you're saying there's like other things you could do. There's like...
No, not just when you get verified. It's when you have...
What up, Twiz?
When you have... Twiz, what's good, bro? It's when you have the... When you're famous, right, and you have a certain amount of followers, doesn't matter if you're verified, doesn't matter about that. Like, that's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm mainly talking about is just when you have an account that draws a lot of eyes, right? You have an account that a lot of people are looking at. Like, it has nothing to do with like, oh, you're in an exclusive club, so now you get to be the one with these certain features on the social media app. It's that they know that those new features that they just rolled out are going to be put in front of this many millions of people. Right, because there's that many people that are viewing the content put up by that content creator.
What up, Silence?
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, so Silent Sounds was good. So to me, it's I can't help but just automatically think that one, it's just for money, right? They're just generating revenue. It's just getting eyes to the verified, or getting the content to the people that follow the verified people. It's like paying Super Bowl money for advertising.
I agree. I think that there probably is like this backdoor section of like social media that you get like additional features. I definitely believe that you get additional analytics. Like if you have a pop in Instagram, maybe you're verified or whatever the case may be, maybe you get access to different analytics.
Okay.
Then like the common person isn't probably concerned with any of their analytics on Instagram, right? Like on my personal account, I've never checked the analytics on my personal account because it's irrelevant, right? However, like a professional that uses social media
As like a business.
exactly, they're concerned with their analytics and they make adjustments to, where their posts. I mean, how they post, what time they post, based on who follows them the most, and what country, what language they post, so on and so forth. So yeah, I say it as a joke because you feel so strongly about it, because we're always having conversations, me and Justin. And Justin's always like, "Damn, yo, when we get to that other side of this app, like we're not gonna have any of these
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you right now. You know why? Because there's somebody that's sitting in this chat right now that experienced the feature being released to him before I got it.
Yeah, those are like betas. That's like a beta. Like for example, if you have Call of Duty, right, and there's a new Call of Duty coming out, you get access to the beta. Like, there's a limited amount of people, but you can enter to get access to the beta.
But is it access to a beta in terms of like a full-on new game?
It's a brand new game that's going to be released, that hasn't been released yet, that you're going on to essentially be like a test dummy.
See, but my whole point is that
you're talking about a feature.
Yeah, the feature. It's not like it's a beta app. It's not like a separate software. It's just like an upgrade to something that, it's like a little side door feature.
Yeah.
And it had to do with just how often he was going live, that, he must have like, I don't know, he must have put together like a certain amount of hours streaming or something like that. And when he did that, they were just like, "Hey, bro, you're pretty dedicated to this shit. I'm about to hook you up."
That's super cool. I'm laughing because Twitch just said Michael Johnson got the cure.
Yo, I'm telling you, Magic Johnson does got the cure, son. He really does, bro.
100%. That's so fucking funny. Yo, I read a fucking pretty interesting statistic that people probably would assume but don't know.
Yeah.
10% of the wealth, the top 10% wealthiest people own 89% of the stocks, the American stocks.
Hold on, say that to me again.
10%. An article that I read today said that the top 10% of wealthy Americans, like the wealthiest Americans.
Okay. The top 10%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Own 89% of the American stock market, like American stock.
Holy shit. I mean, I guess if you think about it, it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Just like, like the 1% of the richest, the top 1% of all richest people have like 80 some odd percent of all the wealth.
Yeah. I guess it's
so it makes it's only, kind of, intuitive to think that they also probably own all the fucking stock too. But it's just an interesting statistic that stuck out in my head. I had to write it down, and I was just like, damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
89%.
Well, that's why they get all salty and shit like that when people are on Reddit figuring out the stock market and shit and starting to give it to them. When they start giving it to them, son, then what happens? Magically, there's some kind of, "Oh wait, can't trade that anymore,"
Well, that's the power of the people, right? And and it's so funny that you say that, because last week we spoke about how like people are incapable of getting together to like fight like against anything. Like, right, the people they're so much faster to sit behind a keyboard and type than they are to really do anything about it.
Well, that's the new like Million Man March, is like the Million Man tweet.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, people think that's a real, like, that's some kind of, like, you're really making that. I mean, you are making an impact, but to me, the effort isn't really what it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a society previous to the society, I could be wrong, that if, everybody felt that Taco Bell was doing something wrong, they would all stop eating there. They wouldn't just talk about how bad they're doing and then continue to still get their fucking cheesy Fiesta potatoes. But now we have this other culture, like this like subculture within a culture, which is like the people of the internet, right? Or even sub to that, like the people of Reddit, that are capable of doing something like that and like affecting the stock market and like really like,
you have thinkers on Reddit. That's why you have thinkers on Reddit. It's not the kind of thing that's happening on Facebook. It's not the kind of thing happening on Instagram. It's not happening a little bit on Twitter, because Twitter does have, I feel like the level of well, I shouldn't say that. There's some
Twitter's like a
idiots flinging poo on Twitter.
Twitter's like
I
a
shouldn't even
state.
say that.
There's like everything in it. Like they got the hood set, they got the ghetto area, the preppy area. So yeah, Twitter's like the state of California. It has like all these different, little cities within it.
Yeah, like homeless encampments, all within it.
Dude, I'm not like really into Twitter. I don't have anything against it. I just haven't been able to like grasp it.
It's funny because it's weird, man. Twitter, you'll definitely get some love from like celebrities on Twitter before you will on Instagram. Like, not that this is like these are badges of honor and shit like that,
Yeah,
but like I'm kind of like, you know,
if
like
you're looking to be acknowledged by somebody who you follow, your best bet is to access them through Twitter.
yeah, kind of. I mean, shit. Jorge Masvidal liked one of my. I sent you a screenshot.
Yeah.
I think he retweeted me one time. I was like, Jesus, like I was like, damn, so I'm putting this shit on my resume. Like, fuck, like Gamebred retweeted me, son. I was like, that shit is pretty fucking dope, you know?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
But given I sound like a fanboy and that shit is corny as hell, but you'll never really get that on Instagram. You ain't gonna get that on Instagram, like not at all.
Yeah, I don't think
You know?
I don't really reach out to anybody that I really like on Instagram, except for Mike Perry. I reach out to Mike Perry.
I guarantee if you put together a witty tweet, if you took a tweet and you just wrote some shit that was actually like, you know, that was kind of fire, like, you know, and you just kind of thought about it a little bit, you were like clever, and it was, you know, it's got to be fairly quick after he tweets something. Like if somebody tweets something and they're still kind of floating around that, because when these celebrity people sit down, they're going to float around that space for a while. That guy's not going on Twitter randomly throughout the day like, you know, I'm just going to... Nah, he got some free time, and he's like, it's Twitter time. These are people who Twitter's part of their job.
Yeah.
So it's like his publicist is like, yo, you got to sit your ass down, and you got to do some fucking Twitter.
Are you saying I could pitch something to Mike Perry if I really wanted to?
Bro, I'm pretty goddamn confident. Through Twitter, that if you were to go on Twitter and you were to talk talk about Mike Perry, you know, but it's got to be something, like I said, it's got to be relevant. It's got to be close to something that they tweeted, you know, like they're still in that headspace. They're still ready to just discuss, like, discuss whatever it is that they're thinking about. Because when they get on there, Dustin Poirier liked one of my tweets one time. You know, it's like... Do
you think it's easier to consume larger quantities of information through Twitter because it's just text so they can get through more people faster?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I don't really know. It is... Because it's not just that anymore. You know, it's not just that anymore. Now it's got, like, quite a bit more... I don't know, like a bit more media posted to it. Like, now you'll actually see, you know, like... There's wild shit on Twitter. Like
Twitter doesn't have any rules when it comes to like explicit content, does it?
No, not unless you hurt somebody's feelings.
Well, yeah.
You know, if you hurt somebody's feelings, like they could show somebody like DP, and it don't matter. And it's like, nah, but then you know.
But if you say something that you shouldn't say.
Yeah. But if you're like,
they'll cut you forever. Yo, shout out to Twiz in the chat right now, spitting knowledge right now.
Yeah, yo, let's get to this. Let's get to these chats real quick. Sorry guys, we kind of been
Twiz says Twitter's like high school.
Twitter is like high school, bro.
It is. I compared it to a state, but high school is a better
and Reddit's college.
Analogy.
Reddit's college.
And
Facts.
Reddit's college. I love Reddit. You know, I'm not a huge, because you kind of get what you want. Like you go and grab like what you want. You know, there's not like you go to the subreddits that you like. It's not like Instagram where like you follow the people you like, but then you kind of get fed other shit too.
Yeah.
Reddit's pretty straightforward. Like, and there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of filtering on Reddit. Like there's not a lot of bullshit. Like the bullshit never makes it to the top, and people call people out. If what you're saying is not right, like don't go say it on Reddit.
That's why I like Reddit, because Reddit is like self-policed, kind of.
Yes, that's
it's like self-moderated and stuff. Like that's another reason why I like Twitch as well, because Twitch is kind of self-moderated like that.
Twitch said fire Mongoose shirt.
Yeah, yo, I appreciate it, man. Damn, yo, the shirt got a little bit of love because Berto said the same thing to me one time.
I fuck with that shirt, bro. I had the illest. I had a couple Mongooses back in the day. The bikes. I had a couple Mongooses. I had I remember I had a green one. It was like black and green, and it had like money symbols all over it. It was like a money mongoose. This is after Pacific Co. bought mongoose. I'm pretty sure they bought them way before I was buying them. But wait,
Pacifico bought mongoose?
Dude, Pacifico bought Haro. They bought GT. They bought like everything. I'm almost positive they own mongoose too.
Jesus Christ, bro. I had no idea. You know what's crazy? I had a Pacifico when I was coming up. It was the corniest bike ever, yo. It was so lame. Like,
I feel like, how the fuck did they afford all these other companies?
Bro, I thought they were imitating all these other companies.
Who the fuck buys Pacifico bikes?
Bro, I have no idea who buys. Me. That's who, me, because I wanted a GT with the gyro on. I was like, yo, I want to do handlebar spins. You know, like I was like, my 3 white friends got cool ass bikes, yo. I was like, yo, they just be flipping them fucking handlebars around and shit,
The
yo. I was
gyro
like,
on it?
bro, I'll tell you right now, bro, I'm not even kidding. Like my group of white friends growing up, because I had like all these different, like growing up where we grew up, it's like there was so many diverse different, areas and
Your
shit.
neighborhood was like Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I had a group of friends that were dead ass nice at skateboarding, that were nice at biking, like doing bike tricks and shit like that. And I was like, what the hell? Like it was like off of like Connecticut, like a different part of where my neighborhood was, where they were just nice on bikes and shit. Not like hood bikes, like, everybody got like the little 8-year-old hood kids doing wheelies on a mountain bike. Like
Now you're talking about people who were like enthusiasts.
Yeah, that were like building ramps and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like you weren't finding no ramps on regular blocks. You know what I mean?
Bro, I used to ride back in the day, bro. I was
But
heavy into
yo,
BMX.
you did, bro, and I believe you. I didn't believe you until I saw that bike that you had sitting over there.
Oh yeah, I got a We the People in my. I mean, at this point, it's not really worth anything, but back in the day, it was a big deal. I don't know. I wasn't ever nice. I'm not gonna say I was doing tricks and shit like that, but I was like into BMX. Like it was my thing. I tried to get into skateboarding. I could never, ever, ever land my first trick I ever tried to learn, which was a pop shove it.
Yeah.
Never landed it.
Never?
No, but I'm so good at it. I'm so good at not landing it that if you handed me a skateboard and I tried it, you would think that I've done that before. You'd be like, oh man, almost there. Like I could get back on it and be just as bad as I was back then.
Now, come on, son. I can't even front, yo. I said, I will admit this to everybody. Yo, I'm going to tell you guys right now. I swear to God, I'm going to tell you guys a story.
This is a funny story.
This guy, Berto, I thought for the longest time, I was like, I used to skateboard a little bit. I didn't do nothing crazy. Like, I wished I was good. I wasn't very good. I went to the skate park a couple times. I got hurt a lot, but I wasn't very good. And I remember that. Anyway, I wasn't ever very good at skateboarding, but I remember how difficult it was. So I remember, like now as an adult, like I have a penny board and shit like that, right? So it's not like a regular skateboard. It's very small, and it's mainly just for like kind of getting around and shit like that.
It's closer. It's compared to like if you've never heard of a penny board and you're familiar with the way a longboard runs. It's kind of like a longboard in the sense that it uses those like wax or acrylic wheels that like kind of glide.
It's like a miniature longboard. It's like essentially, it's like this long. It's literally like this long.
Yeah.
And the whole point is that it's like compact. You can take it with you. You can just like skate, and it's fast, yo. It's fast. Like, so you could just bounce on that shit. And I remember having the bit of experience I had riding a skateboard, which wasn't very good experience, but growing up, I was like, I did all right on the penny board when I first got it, and then I started getting nice, and I'm like, all right, now we're just, it's just easier to cruise and shit like that.
Yeah, so now you buy another one at like the age 27 or something like that.
Yeah, so I got one as a grown-ass man and was like skating around the beach and shit, fucking who the fuck I think I am, I don't know. But that shit's a fucking great time, yo. So I cop one, and I have it at the crib, right? Or I brought it with me, I think. Where were we?
No, you came to see me at my house for whatever reason.
And I had it in the car.
Yeah.
Yo, so Berto's like, yo, let me see that. And yo, I can't even lie, bro. I'm like ashamed to say, like, right away, I was like, nah, bro, you gonna get hurt. I was like, I said, yo, I'm not explaining to your girl. I'm not explaining to your mom. I'm not explaining to nobody that you got hurt on my penny board. I said, you're crazy.
He was so concerned that he was kind of like, nah, bro, you got to be kidding. This thing is slick. And so he kept telling me, he's like, yo, this shit's fast, bro. Like, this ain't like, your rollerblades or something like that.
I was like, yo, straight up, this ain't your granddad's skateboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This ain't Lords of Dogtown over here. I was like,
but I got on that motherfucker.
Yo, when I tell you this fool got on that fucking skateboard, yo, and this motherfucker was out. When I tell you, he just dropped this shit, just jumped on it, was like, shoo, 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 and he was just like, psh. Yo, this motherfucker was shredding on that shit.
I did a little bit of carving. You're not the first person to do that. Someone one time brought a dirt bike to my house.
Bro, I was so shocked. I was like, I said, wait a minute. I said, did he just spaz and just jump on that shit and just shred some shit? And then he like came back and like popped the skateboard up and was like, yo, nice board, man. And like handed it to me like, yo, full on fucking Lords of Z-Town or whatever, full on San Diego, one arm handstand in an empty pool. I was like,
Listen,
what the
first of
fuck
all,
is going on? son?
I love that fucking movie, all right? First things first, I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Second of all, someone one time did that to me with a dirt bike. They come to my house with like a dirt bike in the trunk, one of my boys, and he didn't know how to ride it either. So, I mean, he didn't know how to ride it. So he brought it over. He's like, I just got this dirt bike. I don't know how to ride it, but I'm going to learn. And I was like, yo, let me ride that shit. And he was like, bro, you don't know how to ride this shit. And I was like, bro, let me ride it. And I got on that shit the same way. And I had ridden dirt bikes before, so I had an idea. I one time taught somebody how to ride a motorcycle with no experience ever riding a motorcycle. I knew how to switch through gears because I had ridden a quad before. And when I was young, one of my homegirls, she got a motorcycle in some kind of weird trade. You know how fiends just be having shit? She like definitely traded like a garbage can lid and some jawbreakers, and she ended up with this Honda Shadow. It was like a Harley.
It's a food stand.
Yeah, she get like maybe a tarp or something like that. I don't know what she had on her. Bro, she gets this Honda Shadow and calls me right away, and she's like, Berto, I got a fucking motorcycle. Come through, yo. We're about to be out. Like, I'm going to learn how to ride this. And I was like, I know how to ride it. And she was like, no fucking way. I was like, yeah, I do. I've never ridden a motorcycle before this day.
Wait, so this was a real motorcycle? This wasn't like a dirt bike?
No, this was a Honda Shadow.
Get the fuck out of here.
I had ridden a lot of bicycles back in the day, I might have ridden like a very small dirt bike, but I've never ridden anything this big. And I knew how to like do like the gears and everything because I've ridden quads before. So I kind of had some idea on. I somewhat knew what I was doing, right?
Okay,
I got on that shit the same way, and we just rode it, bro. No helmets with sandals on. In hindsight,
yo, you're so
dude, we looked like we were in a third world country. You ever seen those videos of like the Dominican Republic or whatever, and it's like 3 dudes on a bike?
Yeah, and the back one pulls out a Mac 10. It's like
no. But they all have like sandals on and shit. Like it's just like, it's regular over there.
Yeah,
that's what we looked like. No helmets, dude. Driving down the main strip with just no helmets. And I was just like, I know how to do this. Going from place to place. Going from like we went to this. What do they call places where the nuns live?
Convent.
First we went to a convent and we got kicked out of there. And then we went to a middle school. And then the bike broke down. It was a crazy story. But it just brings me to my point that I'll try anything. You know what I'm saying? And people may look at me like I'm not coordinated. But I will fucking surprise you. I'm not good at basketball. I'll give you that.
Bro, I'll tell you what I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you a fucking wingsuit. Is that what I'm going to get you?
Want
to try anything? Yeah, you want to try anything? We're going to take this hike.
I wouldn't even jump from a plane. I wouldn't do bungee jumping, and I wouldn't do skydiving.
Bro, I'm not with either one of those either. Yo, my girl's all on me to go skydiving. You know my sister went skydiving enough times to go by herself?
What?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at me.
She's been, disrespectful. Who is that? Is somebody trying to tell us something's wrong with the stream?
No, it's nobody trying to tell us something's wrong with the stream.
All right. Yo, facts robbing people on that Honda Shadow. Yo,
I had the shirt wrapped around my head and like wrapped around my face too. You ever seen people do that? Can we talk about the Taliban rehab that we have, because we have it in the title, so we have to talk about it.
Oh yeah, apparently I was reading online. I was reading that that the Taliban now is trying to rid the country of the opioid epidemic over there in Afghanistan.
That they created, because aren't they the ones growing all the poppy?
Grows a poppy, yeah. So I was reading, and they're saying that what they're doing is they're gathering everybody up, and they're putting them into these 45-day like rehab programs.
Camps,
rehab programs.
We'll call them camps,
yeah,
just for short,
right? Just like just pretty much call them what it is. Yeah. So they're putting them in these camps, and they're like, the Taliban is actually working to clean up
them.
Yeah, I don't know what this crazy media is talking about, but they were trying to portray the Taliban in a positive light. I'm like, yo, what the hell? I said it's one of two things. I said either there's something to be gained from this crazy ass new concept of how they're portraying the Taliban, or the propaganda was so bad originally that the Taliban is really like a mission group. They're a missionary. And really the U.S. was so successful in propaganda the first time that they made them look like a terrorist organization. So I'm like, which one is it?
I never thought about it that way, but that's very interesting. I definitely think that whether it's happening or not happening, let's just say it is happening, that's definitely one of those programs that you can't fail.
No.
Like, there's only one kind of people that leave here. People who are clean. Anybody who fails doesn't leave. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the. I think. Remember what they were doing in what was that country?
The Philippines. I think
the Philippines. That dude, he was just killing you, right?
Yeah,
he was just killing people,
bro. He started taking like, and don't quote me on this, like, but I'm pretty sure. Like, all right, I'm pretty sure.
Don't quote us on anything. Are you
don't
kidding
quote
me?
us on any of this. There's a reason why we have that disclaimer, guys. I know it's entertaining. We all jump in the chat. We have some fun. We be talking shit and all that. But then, you know, yeah, Bert will be robbing people on the Honda Shadow. All that shit I'm talking. Like, we have some fun and shit like that. And, of course, you're dealing with two guys that do like to give you the honest truth if we know it.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just be off a little bit.
Sometimes, yeah. Don't close on anything because it's all, subject to change.
Yeah. But
Go ahead.
But apparently a while back, what was going on in the Philippines is like the dude was like getting all his credit for like trying to clean up the country and shit like that. He was like, yeah, I'm cleaning shit up. Like whoever it is, whatever it is, the president, superintendent, I don't know what they have.
Whoever their fucking Lord and Commander is.
Yeah, whoever the lead person is in whatever country, but in this case. So, but really what was happening was he was just like killing everybody that was on drugs.
So had a wild methamphetamine problem over there. And he was just killing them. They were just disappearing. They couldn't find any of the fiends.
Yeah.
They were gone.
I mean, I guess whatever you got to do, you know what I'm saying? It's about results. It's all about results. Listen, we're not going to sit here and dwell on how we arrived at the desired result. We're just going to celebrate the fact that we made it here.
I would love to know what their numbers are. Like, because what happens if like 10 years from now they report out success? What if they're like, hey, remember all those guys that were just disappearing? We killed them. And guess what? No more drug addictions over here.
I think what they really said was probably like, all right, the U.S., you're in the third phase of the process. Let everybody build encampments in the street. Then you just come around, you round them all up. You just come and you just round them all up. You guys are almost there. Don't give up now. This is phase 3.
Yeah, California's 66% the way there with all their homeless encampments. Isn't that insane?
They are cleaning it up, though.
What are they doing? And listen, I'm not one of these people that think like that,
Yeah, you're not
I'm
heartless.
I'm not looking down at these people. They're in terrible situations. I just think it's interesting that they are like small cities of just tents that are just taking over like underpasses and stuff like that. I'm not saying we should burn them all to the ground. I just think it's interesting that this is happening, right? Because you have to get to this point. This doesn't just happen overnight, right? So at one point, if we have 100-yard encampment, like at one point it was 50 yards.
Correct.
And when it got to 50 yards, how come nobody was like, wait a second, we should probably do something about this?
Yeah, we should probably maybe turn it down a little bit.
Isn't San Francisco wild with that shit?
Yeah, San Francisco, they say, is like crazy. I mean, that San Francisco is the most expensive. It's the most expensive city in America.
I did not know that.
Yeah, to live in San Francisco, like the cost of living is like crazy. It's like, an apartment that'll cost you like $3,000 in New York City will cost you like $4,500 in San Francisco.
Well, how's that mathematically possible? Because there's a lot of homeless people there living for fucking free.
Well, most of the places in the world with that massive wealth disparity, it's, you got homeless people like there's places in India that have billionaires, and then right outside is some of the most poverty-stricken areas that you've seen, and it's similar in that sense. When there's a huge wealth building, that means there's also a huge wealth disparity. Like there's somebody down there that's eating shit,
Does it have anything to do with the weather in San Francisco? Is the weather in San Francisco better than the weather in LA?
No.
I wonder. Oh, well, you just said it. No.
Yeah. I don't know. They get more seasons up there. It's not like as hot as Southern California. Southern California is essentially a desert. When you drive through there, there's nothing that's green. There's nothing nothing's blooming. Everything is dry. And I mean, look at those wildfires that they have. Yeah. There's droughts over there from time to time. I mean, when I was over there visiting California, they had odd days that people were watering their grass. So like you could water your grass on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but then like I water my grass on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
That's some third world shit, bro. Isn't that fucking insane?
It really is crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy when you think about it. Like it's got to really make, it's got to make you think a little bit that should we be living out there? I mean, the weather's great, but when you think about that, you think of Nevada, like these are deserts. You think of Arizona, like these are hard places to survive because there's no natural water source that's nearby and shit. Like, they're places that, in my opinion, like minus, if you were to subtract a lot of technology and a lot of like abilities that we have because of that, like secondary technology, these are uninhabitable regions. These are places that are just like, if you're a scorpion, you're chilling.
Yeah, but
like
as a human being, you're gonna have a tough time. I think what the future might hold for us, like now that there's so many industries that are converting from like having office spaces to working from home, that it's only logical that we start inhabiting more of like the middle of America, right? These areas that aren't as that people don't really move to, right? Because if you're living in a state like California and you have a job that will pay you, that you work from home, there's no reason to stay in California and pay all that extra money when you can move to somewhere like Iowa or, the Carolinas, I don't know, Tennessee. I know somebody who just moved to Tennessee, somewhere that's not as expensive, and, still have that California salary while living in another state. I've thought about it. Not going to happen for me for multiple reasons, but I've definitely thought about, like, as I work from home, I'm like, why the fuck do I want to stay here? I could take my salary and go somewhere that's cheaper. It's like a win. Like,
why not?
Yeah.
I've thought about it immensely. You know that.
Justin's ready to leave every other week. This motherfucker's ready to buy a plane ticket.
Bro, there's multiple places that I've looked at. I'm kind of split between, there's kind of 4 places. Like me, I'm kind of between Florida and possibly either Tennessee or Texas. My girl is kind of interested in the Carolinas because the beach. We grew up on Long Island. Given I grew up away from the water, but she grew up pretty close to the shore.
Yeah.
So she was at the beach all the time. It's just like it's part of the culture of the South Shore or the North Shore. Parts of Long Island where like the beach is just so ingrained in your life. So that's really something that she's not really willing to trade on, which I don't, she's not going to compromise on it, which I don't blame her. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm into it too.
Yeah.
So I really, if I had my way for real, it'd probably be the Gulf Coast of Florida.
So obviously I've thought of Florida, I've thought of Texas, and I've thought of California. I once thought of Colorado, but now I think it's like that ship has sailed. But for me, it looks like I'll be in New York for quite a while. It's just the way it works out for me. With my wife's profession, like she kind of got to work in New York.
Yeah, I mean that's true. And if that's the case, then
and she ain't leaving her mom either. No way.
No, which that's a big thing. That's like to believe it or not, I've considered leaving. Like my girl is like, we can't leave your parents.
I'd take her with me though, undoubtedly. I love my chick. My mother-in-law is a rock star, bro. I take her with me 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, see, but, the thing is then convincing, but you don't want to have to sell the move, because then at some point you don't want somebody to resent convincing them to go there. Like, because I've discussed it with my girl like multiple times. I'm like, yo, to be honest, I said, it's so expensive here. I said, for just you and me, like, and I have a good profession. I mean, she's on her way to doubling her, her earnings like within the next year or two. So, I mean, it's not like we shouldn't be able to do really well.
It's just so hard to live here.
Bro, it's so costly that it's not even fathomable. Like I can't even wrap my head around where I would squeeze these dollars from, like, and still live a decent lifestyle. It's like, yo, I want to be able to have a decent life. Like I want to be able to go out to dinner. I want to be able to drive a decent car. I want to be able to repair my car if something goes wrong. Like there's, I want those basic securities and those basic, those like rewards that you give yourself for working.
Yeah,
like,
for succeeding. And listen, when you talk to people who leave here and then move to places like like Georgia, one of my boys moved to Georgia and he was like, bro, the rent for like a 3-bedroom was something like $700 a month or some. It was like peanuts. It was like sub $1,000. And he's telling me, he's like, yo, over here, like you could just go get a job that's minimum wage and survive. Do you think that's why there's so many rappers popping out of Atlanta? They're popping out of Georgia. Now that I think about it, because they just got more time to rap because the rent's so low that you could just hustle. That you could just rap all day and be nice because you really only got to put in 2 or 3 shifts, a week. You could work part time at a decent job and pay your rent.
Nah, that's a really good point. I mean,
never thought about that.
That's a really, really good point. Like, I mean, I sit here and I think I'm like, marriage is moving to like the old way it used to be. Like it used to be, marriage was a business move. You know what I mean? You would get married to join 2 families, to keep the wealth where it is, to expand property and shit. Back in the day, that's how it was. And then I actually saw this really, really clever, this therapist. She does this TED Talk. I forget her damn name, but she's legit. And this one thing that she said was like mind-blowing. She said a lot of shit that was mind-blowing, but she was like, marriage used to be for business arrangement like this. Like what I'm saying, for like joining families and wealth and royalty. And then, people would like run away and sneak away to find love, and it's like, but now people marry for love, and it's way different. Like it used to be just marry for business. Now it's marry for love. So it introduces like a bunch of complexities into the business arrangement. Because now it's like, wait a minute, we're all so emotionally vested in this business deal. Like imagine if we were to.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's like, it's something very different. It's something that it's like a whole new definition of what the concept of marriage once was. And I think that especially in Long Island and New York, you start to see people. Like, I've actually spoken to people. I'm like, yo, you guys got married? And they were like, yeah, it's kind of too expensive out here. Do it alone. And I'm like, whoa. Holy shit. I'm like, all right, buddy. Like, yo, babe, you ready? We'll get the check. I'm like, check.
It's also like when people, there's the opposite of that. People that are together and they're just miserable together. And you look at the guy and you're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And he looks at you and he says, listen, bro, it's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah, for real. It's like it gets crazy.
It's both
like
sides,
that,
which is fucking insane. But the honest truth is, I think that dude, definitely don't go into a marriage because for any financial reasons.
It's funny, right? Because
you'll be fucking pissed.
We say that about marriage, right? We say that about marriage, but then shouldn't we apply the same concept to our professions?
Don't do a job that doesn't compensate you.
No, don't do it for the money.
Don't do it for the money. No.
Don't do it for the money.
No. No.
You don't agree with that?
No, not at all. So I'm one of these people, right? Not one of these people. I'm just of the mind. I've been saying.
What do you mean, these people?
Yeah, you're right. you can call me. Anyway,
call me El Guy.
Yeah, you call me El Guy. So I believe that if I work for somebody else, right? I'm not talking about working for myself. I'm not talking about creating a successful podcast and, doing something that I enjoy doing. I'm talking about working for somebody else, right? As an employee. If I am an employee, right? I'm working this job to sustain a lifestyle that I want outside of work. No other reason. I'm not doing this because I want to save the pigeons. I'm not doing this because no, I'm doing this so I can fuck off and drive fast cars outside of work. I don't do my job because I want nice things. So I give this same exact, I have this conversation with people who are like, just want to thinking about finishing high school or going to finish high school and thinking about whether they go to college or not go to college, or if they do want to go to college, what are they going to do, right? And most of the time what I tell people is just picture what lifestyle you want to have, right? Do you want to be somebody who goes on vacation all the time? Do you want to be somebody who has a lot of money? Do you want to be somebody who you don't need a lot of money? You just want to, travel the world. Then go to school or do something that enables you to do that. Maybe be a teacher because you're off 3 months out of the year. Maybe don't open a butcher shop because you'll never go on vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to make a lot of money and but you're not concerned with having not that much time for your family and shit like that. Maybe go into finance, be an attorney, go into marketing. There's a lot of, so just find out what kind of lifestyle you want and then pick your job. If you're going to work for somebody anyways, right? Because then you can just set yourself up to live the life that you want to live. Not just set yourself up to do what you want to do forever, every single day. We should be concentrated on what's going to make us happy. So if what's going to make you happy is, being able to get on the boat every weekend and, drive up the coast or whatever, then you can't be, somebody who works on the weekends. You can't be this, you can't be that, so on and so forth.
No, I mean, I agree 100%. It's just, it's tough to kind of find those careers that offer those things, right? I mean, you can look, but those are very specific to specific companies and policies and stuff like that, right? There are some jobs where you won't work on the weekend, right? But a lot of times you won't know that until there's an actual job posted.
Well,
like prior to being really the only job where you know your schedule is teaching. Right?
Well, I think that you like I'll give you a good example, right? If you say to me, well, I want to drive sports cars and I want to go on vacation, 6 times a year, and I want to be I'm thinking about picking culinary as my major. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be hard to do. Can you do it? Yeah, you could fucking do it. Yeah, you can do it.
But you're giving up your weekends.
Yeah, you're giving up your weekends
and your holidays.
And you might not ever fucking go on vacation because you're talking about something that, like, there are culinary, people who work in the culinary arts. They're artists. So, you can spend your whole life chasing this dream of, achieving whatever, a 5-star Michelin, restaurant or whatever, the 3-star Michelin restaurant or whatever the case may be, whatever your goals are. And you might spend your whole life and not get there. And then what you really wanted this whole time was to go on vacation and drive fast cars, and you never got to do it. So maybe you should pick a different job that's a little easier to obtain what you want, right? Maybe you got to work a little harder. Maybe you got to work with stuff that you never really wanted to work with. But guess what? When you have the money to buy sports cars and go on vacation, you also have the money to be more autonomous. And you know what? Bake on the side. You could afford a nice kitchen now. You could you could bake all you want on your own time.
See, but that's tough though, because can you bake all the time on your own time? If you want to have other things, let's say you want to have a family. Let's say you want to have, you want to do stuff like that. You want to get married. You want to have a family.
I'm talking about somebody who wants to drive sports cars and go on vacation all the time, and wanted to cook or whatever. I'm just saying that you got to pick a job that's going to sustain a lifestyle that you want. That's it. So when people pick jobs that that maybe aren't as lucrative and they want to live a lucrative lifestyle, it's like, well, you should have known that from the beginning. Money's not everything. There's many people who are not concerned with money and they just want to be able to travel, as an example, right? Because you don't really have to have a ton of money to travel. So
now what you need to do is limit in order to travel, I feel like you just have to limit your debt. You have to limit your spending outside your means.
Yeah, so maybe you maybe you become a fucking truck driver because maybe all you want to do is see the United States. So you pick a job that is able to sustain the lifestyle you want to live. There's obviously going to be a bunch of nuances and little caveats when it comes to this, so we can nitpick at it.
Sure.
But I think that when you do that, it's easier to achieve what you want, because what you want is to just live the life you want, and this other thing, this job, doesn't have to live up to anything. Only thing it has to do is to sustain this lifestyle. That's it. And I think that's more obtainable than saying I want to saying anything else. I don't know.
See, that's tricky to me because I start to think are we talking about doing a good job when you go to work?
It doesn't,
because
that's what kind of person you are. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it's not possible to just, I don't think so anyway.
You have to do a good enough job to keep your job to sustain your lifestyle. So if you do a bad job, you're not going to be able to sustain your lifestyle if you're going from job to job to job.
I guess my point being that I was leaning towards actually creating happiness in your life and creating fulfillment in your life, because money's really not, money makes a lot of things easier, but money also is not going to be an efficient motivator. You're confident that money can motivate you to go and do a job that you may not like because you're paid a lot of money. You can continue to do that for 30, 40 years down the road. You're confident in that?
But I'm not talking about the monetary gain that I get from this job. What I'm referring to is simply getting a job that enables you to live the lifestyle you want to live, no matter what that is, whether it's something that you need a lot of money to do or something that you just need time to do. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's a good point.
To pick a job
lifestyle
that enables you to live the lifestyle that you want to live. So if you want to go out, every other week, pick a job. Good. I'll give you a good example, right? I used to work in a hospital. If you want to be somebody that, goes camping every single week, maybe you become a nurse, because nurse only work 3 days a week. You work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You fuck off from fucking Thursday to next Monday. That job, you have a lot of time off, so on and so forth. Not about the money.
It never works that way, so I've heard.
No, all I'm saying is that I'm just giving a fucking example, you know what I'm saying? But essentially what I'm getting at is it's not about the money. It's about just enabling you to live the life you want to live outside of work, because we shouldn't be living to work. Or, yeah, I think so.
No. Yes. You want to, they say you want to work to live, not live to work, right?
Exactly. That's essentially what I'm saying, you know? And listen, if you find something that you love to do and also enables you to live the lifestyle you live outside of work, great. But I think in my opinion, that I look for being able to live my life outside of work. And then I worry about, you know, maybe I love my job, maybe I don't love a job. I was fortunate enough that I knew I was going to work in IT. I started when I started studying IT in the 10th grade, like going to another school outside of my high school, in the 11th grade, excuse me. So I knew since then that I wanted to work in IT, and now I do. So I kind of got like what I wanted.
So you went to BOCES? Yeah,
I went to BOCES.
Damn, everybody I know that went to BOCES, every single person I know that went to BOCES was walking around with a mannequin head with braids in it.
Yo, how wild was that? Yo, we had CNAs and the cosmetologist. Whatever. I want to get away from that topic because I feel like I fucking rambled on forever.
No, it's good. That's good information. I mean, I'm always down for like some really, you know, like a deep dive into a topic when, you know, because you know a good amount about that. And I don't know, you kind of motivated me. I'm like, damn, y'all, maybe I need to jump up this fucking money ladder, increase my lifestyle.
Yeah, because you know all I'm saying is, like, you know, my girl does something that she loves, right? Yeah, I do something that I like too, right? All I'm saying is that even if I didn't like it, if it enabled me to put my kid through a good school, to, you know, go to the racetrack every weekend, I might eat a little shit to do that. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, like, you're going to make adjustments to make that work life better. But, you know, I'm more concerned with my outside life than I am concerned about being happy at work. I don't want to be unhappy.
Yeah,
true. There's no extreme that's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a balance.
Yeah, yeah, you know, for me, I just I'm looking for that gig that just you know, I think this is it right here.
Well, if this pops,
this is it.
Then I get the best of both worlds.
Either way, bro, I have such a good time doing this shit, and I just love to just talk shit. I mean, me and Berto would talk on the phone for like hours, and I was like, yo, this is a podcast. That's essentially what it was. I think that was the most organic thing that you could possibly think of. You know, it just spawned, and we just ran with it. You know?
I like talking shit with you. You like talking shit with me.
Let's go.
Let's film it.
That's it. Let's film it. Let's record it.
All right, we're approaching the 58th minute.
Oh, we're approaching the 58th minute.
Get what we got to get out.
Rest in peace, Colin Powell.
So explain to me, because this is news to me too.
You know, he's bigger. He was a big, I think, the Attorney General or whatever. What was he?
What up, O?
Yo, help me out. O's in there? Yo, O in the chat. What was Colin Powell? And he...
No. You don't have to give me his background.
I'm playing.
I don't know it either.
No, he was a big political figure, war hero, shit like that. Okay. Right? But
how dare you?
Yeah, he's always been involved in American politics and stuff. And what really impresses me is he was a child of Jamaican immigrants. So so they were, you know, he really did his thing and stuff. He joined the service and he really rose the ranks and really did well. And he had a big political position for many, many years. So, but he passed away from COVID I think he was 82 or 84. He was in his early 80s.
COVID's tough at that old age, right?
Yeah, to me, it's tricky though, because he was vaccinated but still passed from COVID. So I don't know what the complications were. I mean, he was sick. He was on immunosuppressive drugs because he was immunocompromised rather, because he had also multiple myeloma. He had like cancer going on. So
Secretary of State.
You know, Secretary of State. Thank you.
Good looking, O.
Who hit me with that?
That's I love you,
bro.
Bye. Shout out to O.
I love you, O. So thank you. So I apologize, people. I told you, don't quote me on anything. There's something that I'm not the best at, and that's American politics and American, like, you know, policy and shit like that. I fight for my freedom, and I argue people to the death that I should be able to, you know, have my firearms and stuff like that. But either way, rest in peace to that man. Great man, and he did a lot for a lot of people. So, you know, shout out to
O for
for putting us on. But just, you know, another casualty to this COVID shit is terrible. You know, it's terrible. Whenever I see somebody else passed away from COVID, it saddens me because you know, I just wonder if there was a little more information going on, like a little more information that we may have known about what the hell was going on in that lab where that shit more than likely came from. You know, it just it concerns me that this was 100% preventable. You know, I think if people were a little more responsible with what they were doing and a little more open about what the hell was going on and what was being funded, you know, but other than that, it's just, you know, I know I'm getting deep, you know, and I'm gonna leave this where it lies, but you know, rest in peace to Colin Powell.
And thank you, O, for putting that in the chat. I want everybody
thank you, O.
if you're still here rocking with us, if you guys are, I want you to check out O's. Oh, can you post your the Little Coconut Instagram so we can give you a shout out, man?
Yeah, bro. We want to.
I feel like we never blessed you, man.
And honestly,
post your Instagram.
Oh, you're coming on the podcast, bro. We're getting you on here.
I want to talk to O about cooking and then cooking for different cultures, because Latinos in general, like, you know, we eat a lot of similar foods, but not all our foods taste the same. And I would love to know or hear stories about maybe, you know, when if things change when you're cooking for this side of the world or that side of the world, or, you know, or do you always put that same song in there no matter what, you know? Yeah,
it's good food, just good food. Just eat up, Papa. Sit down and take a plate, bro.
Everybody go check them out. Little Coconut, little_coconut_ LLC on Instagram.
Bro. Listen, we really gonna have you on here. ¿Qué fue eso?
Someone's at the front door.
That's my front door.
Yo, you know who's at the front door? It's Uncle. It's Big Brother watching your ass with that camera and all that shit, bro.
Well,
I don't play all that.
Perfect timing. That's it. We're at an hour.
Yo, we are at an hour, man. I wanted to get into Conor McGregor punching that DJ in the face, but maybe we'll talk about that. Apparently, well, I got into it and we got sidetracked, right? So real quick, we'll end with this. Conor McGregor, former UFC 2 division champion, featherweight and lightweight, is in some shit again. This man we started earlier, he took his child to be christened at the Vatican. They actually gave him the key to Vatican City.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because he's kind of like, he's that balling. Like, I'm sure they're in the Vatican throwing Conor McGregor fight parties. It's probably lit in there, you know. Everybody's drinking all the red wine, everybody, you know. But
this guy assaulted somebody else like 6 months ago in a bar. They give this guy the key to the city.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. He confessed his sins. He's forgiven, you know. But anyway, so he takes his child there to be christened, and then afterwards there was a celebration. He went out to a nightclub. Apparently, he was kicking it with this DJ. Some DJ, I forget his name, but they were chilling and stuff, and then apparently one of them invited the other one to go out, like, together. I don't know if they went somewhere else or what have you. They got into some kind of altercation at some point, and Conor punched him in the face, so the guy says. The guy is so soft. I don't know where we get all these beta males. The guy is in a photo, like, lifting his lip.
I seen that.
He's lifting his lip. Yeah. He's like, look, Conor punched me. I was like, dude, are you kidding me, bro? You got punched in the face by Conor McGregor. I wouldn't have said shit. I would have been like, I wouldn't be suing him. I'd be like, this is what Conor did to me. I took a shot from Conor McGregor. Now come on the podcast.
He's 0-2 when punching people in the street.
Yeah, punching street guys, like regular everyday civilians.
Let's wrap this up because I got somebody at my door.
Yeah, you got it, bro. So we're gonna wrap it up, man. Episode 49, Masses and None.
Masses and None.
Masses and None, episode 49. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Oh, we're gonna get you on here, bro. We're gonna reach out to you. Twiz, thank you for coming through. Mark, everybody, man. We really appreciate you guys. Silent Sounds in the chat as well, man. Thank you guys, and we're gonna wrap it up. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
See you guys Thursday.
Thursday, 7 p.m. Guys, come check us, man. We love y'all.
Oye, te hablo desde la prisión. Wilson Manyoma.